Today we're going over my top 5 likes and dislikes of the Traxxas Stampede, and that's coming up next here on Just CB Motors. Don't forget, if you like videos like this, to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell. Welcome back, and today we're going over my top 5 likes and dislikes of the Traxxas Stampede. Now, this is just my opinion, so don't be going off on me down in the comments, because I do really like the Traxxas Stampede, but there is things I like and dislike about it, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with the dislikes, and number 5 on my dislikes is this radio box. One thing I can't stand about these Traxxas radio boxes is you got your 2 screws right here, and then you got to pop this cap off just to get the wires out if you want to change the servo or anything. Like I got a different ESC in here, you got to take that off, and then you got a screw right here, and then another one on this side back here. You got to take 4 screws off just to get that cap off. Yes, it makes it watertight, but other companies did a way better design in this, and that's my number 5 dislike for the Traxxas Stampede. Now to my number 4 thing that I dislike about the Traxxas Stampede is the caster block. As you can see here, I got an RPM one on here, and these things, you barely hit anything. Like if you slam into a wall, tree, rock, whatever, these things break real easy. The other side I've got replaced too with RPM. Traxxas also makes aluminum ones. Those are both great upgrades. The only thing I say about the aluminum ones is if you bend one of those, you're going to have to replace them. The only downside to the RPM ones, these are flexible, so sometimes the kingpin that goes through here, you can bend those, but that's an easy fix. You just take it out and hammer it back straight and you're fine. But that is my number 4 dislike of the Traxxas Stampede, is the caster blocks. Now for number 3 of my dislikes of the Traxxas Stampede is going to be the wheels. And it's not the factory wheels or the aftermarket wheels, it's the fact that they're offset. That drives me absolutely nuts when you get the wheels like this, because then you got to buy 2 of one wheel and then 2 of the other. When most people nowadays, this time and age, they all have the same offset front and rear, so you can just grab a set of tires that you know is going to fit on it, grab 2 packs of tires, and you're set, ready to go. On the Traxxas Stampede, the Slash 2-wheel drive, the Bandit, and the Rustler, they all have the same setup, where it's got a different offset in the front and a different offset in the rear, and that absolutely drives me nuts. So that is my number 3 dislike of the Traxxas Stampede. Now my number 2 dislike for the Traxxas Stampede is the plastic shock caps that always pop off when you're jumping. You can see I got blue aluminum ones on here, and if you do any kind of jumping, you're going to have to upgrade these shock caps to aluminum like this, or buy some big bore shocks that are a lot better than these that don't have plastic caps on them, because every time you jump, once they start popping, they keep popping off. And that is my number 2 dislike of the Traxxas Stampede, is the plastic shock caps. Now my number 1 dislike about the Traxxas Stampede is these things come with bushings. You can see right here I've upgraded to the wheel bearings. You would think that everybody else nowadays comes with wheel bearings in their cars, that Traxxas would put wheel bearings front and rear on these things, and they don't. These things don't cost that much. It wouldn't jack the price up that much on these, so why don't you go ahead and put wheel bearings in it, Traxxas? So that is my number 1 dislike of the Traxxas Stampede, not having wheel bearings. Now for an honorable mention for the dislikes that I really do not like about the Traxxas Stampede 2-wheel drive, and that goes for the Rustler, Bandit, and the 2-wheel drive Slash 2, because they all are set up the same. I can't stand that you have to slow down to turn these things. Don't matter if you're in dirt, gravel, grass, pavement, cement, it doesn't matter. If you don't slow down with these to make a turn, they either flip, or if you get on the gas too hard, it does a wheelie. So that is an honorable mention that I do not like, is the steering on it, because you got to really slow down. Now we'll start with my favorite likes of the Traxxas Stampede, starting with number 5, is the transmission. They got metal gears inside of this transmission, which means, as you can see here, it's already upgraded, so you can put a brushless motor system in it and be perfectly fine and don't have to worry about tearing the gears up in the transmission. So that's my number 5 like of the Traxxas Stampede, is the metal gears in the transmission. And now for my number 4 thing I really like about the Traxxas Stampede is wheelies. This thing does wheelies for days. Even with the stock brush system in it, with a 550 12-turn motor that's in this from the factory. This thing is a wheelie machine. I originally put a wheelie bar on it because I like jumping it so much. I ended up taking it off because I kept on landing on the wheelie bar and it didn't break, but it would come apart and it got annoying putting it back together. So my number 4 thing that I really like about the Traxxas Stampede is wheelies. Now my number 3 thing that I really like about the Traxxas Stampede is as I just mentioned, was jumping. This thing is real fun to jump. Now you got a lot to do if you're going to get a flip out of it or anything, but you can jump this thing and it is a blast to jump. After you break everything and replace it with RPM stuff like we have here with the bumper, the A-arms, caster blocks, yada yada yada. I'll have more on that in a little bit. This thing is awesome to jump, and once you upgrade it, it could take the beating. So that is my number 3 thing I like the most about the Traxxas Stampede is jumping. So my number 2 thing about the Traxxas Stampede that I really like about it is a great beginner RC. You get to learn their controls and everything on this. If you got the stock brush motor, that's perfect because it's not fast enough to cause a lot of damage if you do hit something. It's when you go to brushless like I did that you can start breaking stuff when you start running into it hard. But this thing is perfect because it's a budget, low price RC and you got a good name in Traxxas. And usually Traxxas warranties are pretty good. So that is my number 2 thing that I like about the Traxxas Stampede is a great beginner's RC. And now my number 1 like about the Traxxas Stampede is aftermarket support. These things have been around for it seems like almost 30 years now, and there's a ton of aftermarket support for this. Just for example, just on this truck, I've got RPM bearing carriers front and rear, RPM caster blocks, RPM A-arms, RPM bumper, RPM shock mounts here, and then I've got atomic aluminum caps on here. Now Traxxas makes aluminum caps for them too, and they also got aftermarket parts for the caster blocks and all that stuff in here. And a bunch of other companies got tons of things on these too. So that is my number 1 thing that I really like about the Traxxas Stampede is aftermarket support. And now for an honorable mention for likes on this. This is a true ready to run. It does come with a nickel metal hydride battery and charger. Now you got stuff that don't come with that, like the Arma 3S line. You don't get no battery or charger with their 3S line at all. And at least with this one, you do get a nickel metal hydride battery and a wall charger for it. So all you need is your AA batteries for the charger to be up and going when you buy this. So honorable mention is, it is a complete ready to run. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my top 5 likes and dislikes video on the Traxxas Stampede. Like I said, these are my opinions, so if you guys got your own likes and dislikes, leave a comment down below so we can talk about it. Maybe I got something I missed that might be something that you guys brought up that's a good thing. That way people can read the comments down below and know. So as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. On Facebook, I got an RC car group, RC Car Life. Come on over and join in on the fun. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all on the next one.